Okay, so it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, but I've been up for like an hour. And to me, it seems like, because I go to bed pretty early, it seems like when like how they say like around 3, but I think it's like around 2 or something. You just hear so much more noise in the other realms. Like the other realms, you just hear it louder. And so that is, to me, I just hear the talking, and then I find myself talking along with, I just am having conversations. So I lay there still, but anyways, at some point it's always just like, may as well just get up. But I like to wake up way better like that than having if I get woke up, I'm so out of it. But anyways, so there were so many, oh my gosh, or it's a whole bunch of little things. So well, this is kind of be all over the place, but it was like, oh my God, I was so fucking, the Hawaii thing, oh my God, it gets so much worse and worse and worse. I swear to fucking God, to me, it's like the same thing as if you know, we all just love the smell of barbecue, how it was just out there roasting every day. It smelled so good. Everybody in the neighborhood was always like, oh, I got to go check that place out. It smells so good all day. Everybody's loving it. And then all of a sudden you find out, you're really living next to a gas chamber and they're just disposing of what's left over. That's what I feel like. That is what it feels like. I feel sick, man. I feel sick. And fucking Oprah and Rock. Oh, and I know it's the exposing of them, but oh my God, they turned my stomach. And Rock, to me, it's like he's gone. Oh, it makes tears come. Like some of these things, I can feel them so deep. But it's like he turned against his own people. I don't know what tribe he's from or whatever, but I don't know. Some people, I think they just get in over their heads in that they chase something you ought not be chasing, I guess. And they chase it and then they find themselves backed in a corner. I don't know. But, I mean, he is just disgusting. But Oprah, she's another fucking level. Like, I mean, she's just purposely evil as fuck. Like, I don't know about Rock. Like, he's been doing some shit for a long time. Like, yeah, he got involved with some shady shit in wrestling. Like, because he's got charges of trying to traffic some wrestler woman and her kids. It's like, dude, just like the same thing the other day. Somebody was like, something with Tiffany Haddish. I was like, oh, this good show or good movie came out. As soon as I saw her name, I was like, no, you see Armie Hammer, you see Tiffany Haddish, you see a lot of these people's names. It's like, oh, no. It's disgusting. I just saw the arrest footage, the cam footage. I guess they're showing on the news of that 19-year-old girl I was talking about that got arrested. I couldn't even finish it. I mean, I was getting so sick. My heart hurt so fucking bad. And I could feel that girl. I could feel her pain. She's fucking 19 years old. What the fuck is she doing with this 3-year-old kid? Why the fuck is this goddamn old fucking... I don't even know how old the guy is. He just met her online. And it starts dating her online. Lets her move right in. She's 19 years old. And then you're leaving her with... you don't even know this girl. And how many girls come out of really, really bad situations? There's a lot of broken girls out there. A lot of broken girls. There's a lot of broken guys. And there's a lot of people who just accept broken. Oh, man, that was rough. Oh, God, I can't even think. I keep having it stuck on my head. I'm trying to go past it. I'm trying to get past it. But it was really... was like, I feel like people do things and they just don't, like, I don't know how everybody thinks. I don't know how everybody's mind works. It seems kind of like when people are on autopilot and they're being led by these, what I was talking about yesterday with these hormones, and when things are out of whack, they do things that they don't mean to do, or they don't know why they're doing them. They've got dark energy attachments guiding them. They think, and people are so broken. They don't know. It's always for they know not what they do. For they know not what they do. There's so much pain. So much pain in all of this stuff. Broken people hurting broken people. Just, fuck, it's sad. Oh, fuck, it's so sad. I don't know if you see that footage. And I don't know. Everybody has different feelings about it. Everybody really goes divided. In the black and white. You know, she's bad. She shouldn't have touched a child. Well, we've all had bad things happen to us. And she went over the... we're here for all perspectives. We're here to see what happens. How does this happen? Why does this happen? What happens when this happens? We're here for the whole experience. We're here to create the whole experience. We're here to give all experiences the perspective that they deserve. Because that's how the universe learns. So, it's just like, it's just getting on that level of understanding. But it's painful. It's painful still. Because there's just so much pain here. There's so much pain being purged out. It's just, you know, it's hard. And all the stuff, you know, like, for how long, even though I had been able to see this stuff and know this stuff and know what's coming and stuff like that, just seeing it is just painful. Because, you know, the people you hear talking about it, they don't know. They don't understand what's going on. That's their real life experience. So when you see past all this stuff, and then even if you try and tell people, you're just crazy. This is the strangest perspective, and I know that there's purpose to it and everything. It's just so, I don't know, it's like not expected. Sure wasn't expecting my life to turn. I just didn't know it was going to turn like that. Like, where it was going to be, like these things. It was like for so long in our lives, there was just certain things that didn't matter. Like we were so busy surviving or something. And then when everything started turning and everything started going so bad for people, it just, you know, the feel, it's just, I don't know, the whole journey, the whole experience. It's just, well, for me, it's been going on for so long, too. It was so long. I know some people were just going and just living all their lives and struggling and stuff like that. And then a storm came in, took their house, and then they went into, you know, so a lot of people just have gone into their crises, like, in the past year or two. Some in the past few months. Mine's been going because I got the brain injury in 2009. So my thing started in 2009. And then I lost my license and stuff, I think in 2011. In the beginning of 2011. But I don't know, because in 2011 I got married. It was really important to me to get married on 11/11/11, and I didn't even know why. I just, that date, when I was coming, it was like, I have to have that date. And sometimes it's like, did I get married just to have that date? Like, all these fucking marriages, it's just so stupid. Let me get back to, so I'll just go back to Hawaii. The more, and I mean, Rock and Oprah to be out there begging people to send money is just, it's so absurd. Why they're not out there saying what they've done with their money. Instead, they're out there, hey, everybody, you know, we got a great idea. If everybody sends us this money, you know, we're the superheroes here. We got it all figured out. And what just seeing them too, and then video after video after video after video after video, I was just like, what in the holy hell? So we've got no family members. I've heard now 3,000, there was 3,000 kids on the docket, the education schooling thing. 3,000 and only 500 are accounted for. So we have all these missing kids, school buses missing, all these missing, and no parents are out there talking. But after I had already seen the footage of the laser beam with the girls, they were out on the beach, and it was like dancing around, like just out, you know, with girls doing girl stuff. That's what girls do. Girls do stuff like that. You know, I don't know what boys do when all boys just get together. When girls get together, we dance around, you know, we just be more silly. You know, nobody's trying to get anybody's attention or trying to be too cool. So girls just get a lot more relaxed and just be a lot more, you know. So it's kind of like that. Just these girls videotaping out there dancing. And then you see fucking laser come straight ass up out of the fucking sky. Hit her in the top of the head. A yellow laser. Hit her in the top of the head. It's big too. It was like the size of her head. One a little tiny, you know, one of those little red dot things. And one like that. One little fucking drone. And so it... God damn. Oh, God, sometimes these visuals come in just make me want to fucking puke. I don't know. Just the person aiming the lasers. I don't know if they're from satellite. I don't know where they are. I don't know where they've got these stored. I mean, everything going up out there, you know, is lies to us. Probably fucking no telling. But anyways, she hits her in the top of the head and she just goes down. And when she goes down and the phone goes down, it's just like that fucking Norwegian one that I had seen. And when the phone goes down and you see the other people, like, I don't know how the phone came to be. I don't know if it's all just, I mean, it's awfully coincidental that there's all this evidence of the lasers hitting into that whole goddamn town. And then this footage comes out. But what was even... this other footage that keeps being blocked, like, and it is, like, I wasn't under, there's certain accounts, like, if you want to follow along the Hawaii thing, there's certain accounts that you got to follow. I don't know who they are, but they are there, and they are, you know, they know what's going on, like, they show you more what you want to see, like, there's, for one thing, there's, a field that right outside of Lana, there was a field, and then that isn't burnt, but the two cars are just the same thing. Like, they just were hitting things with these lasers or something. But this other footage is fucking horrific. And this goes with so many other things. Like I said, you just hear things, you see things, you hear this, you see that, and you just tuck it in your pocket, just like, And then you just see more and more open, more and more open. The same thing as when I saw that fucking massacre of those little kids in at school in Jamaica, I think it was. That was a goddamn nightmare. Some of this footage you see is a goddamn nightmare. But this says, you see these... It looks like fireworks, kind of. You see the big palm trees, and you see fireworks, and then you hear people screaming. You hear all this screaming, and then you hear just guns just blazing. Just boom, 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 boom. And just screaming and screaming. It's horrible. And You know, like I said before, I don't know if the fire was to cover up the crimes. I don't know if that was right there on that beach. I don't know if it was a different beach. I don't know, you know, if somebody's stolen this scene from a movie and is out there trying to horrify people. But when you put it all together, like, where are the people? Where are the people? Why is there not just, why is the news not flooded? All social media. Why is it not flooded? Why is Oprah and Rock? Oprah and Rock. Like, I mean, how motherfucking creepy is that? If they have gone in and slaughtered these people and these motherfuckers know it. And they're out there just asking, oh my God, the whole fucking thing is so disgusting. So disgusting. Like, you know, it's like I didn't know how it was going to feel. Like when things would start falling apart. You know, just seeing people talking about how the crime and what's happening and how scared they are. And, you know, well, they just did this and they just did that. And they don't realize it was all done on purpose. They've done it on purpose. They've set this up. When they went in and put in cheap housing right next to your neighborhood, or what is it called, poverty housing right next to your neighborhood, they're setting it up. They're always setting it up. That's what they do. They fucking set it up since I've been talking about this whole setup, how they set up America. They're just always setting the scene. The fucking conflict. And people just, it's like Free Guy. They just go around just, gotta get to work. Oh, we're going to a barbecue this weekend, Sam. And then it's just like, you know, they're setting up the scene to cause you horror and terror and depression and everything because it entertains them. And I think this was, I don't remember. It seems like there was some comment of something, I think it was on a TikTok thing. But those people are vampire people. Like, they are vampire, but like whatever you think of how vampires and stuff. I mean, there's even that queen, I can't remember her name. It's a true story. It was like the blood queen or something she's known as. And she would, all the kids would go missing, young girls and stuff. And she would bathe in their blood. Like, there's a whole bunch of horrible stuff. I even saw a movie about it. But there's a bunch of horrible stuff. You know, they live off blood. Like, what else? And they have energy. I mean, that is what they do. And I just saw Alex Jones on, this is just a clip. I didn't watch this. I don't know this. This could be an old clip. I don't know. Because I don't watch Joe Rogan and I don't watch Alex Jones. But every time I see Alex Jones talking, I'm always like, this guy fucking knows some shit. And Joe Rogan, I guess he was always a conspiracy theorist too. Because when it seems like a long time ago, because I was always telling people, Bigfoot's real, Bigfoot, and you would think that people wouldn't laugh at you and think that's so ridiculous, but they do. And, but it seems like a long, long time ago, around then, somebody had said something about Joe Rogan believes in Bigfoot. Because it seems like all of a sudden when I heard him say that, I was like, oh, I knew that. I knew Joe Rogan believed in Bigfoot. Seems like we bonded on that 15 years ago without even knowing it. So anyways, they were talking and he was asking him some stuff. And the stuff that Alex Jones was saying, to me, it sounded like the same thing as what I was saying. Like, they want to live forever. I think they don't want to live forever because they are scared to die. I think they're scared. And, but they want to live forever, but they want to control us. And, like, that is what they know about the metaphysical is what they want to keep hidden. And it has to do with, like, knowing that they are a soul or something. There's some sort of knowledge like that, you know, because once you start realizing that you're a hologram, because there's something about that too, something about this hologram world and this black matter and all this stuff. When I would hear him say it, it just goes into like my information and it just goes like, it just will fit. So I can hear what someone's saying like that, and it can just fit in. But I can't go and listen to all these different channelers right now. Even when I see these different people on TikTok or something, and they start talking about the things that I'm talking about, is if I hear them start talking about that, I just go past. Sometimes I've sat and listened. It depends on what they're talking about. You know, it's just like I can hear if it interferes. You know, as soon as it sounds like, you know, they're going. Sometimes I'll listen for a second, like it's like confirmation. Okay, yeah, they're seeing the same thing as me. Okay, I know I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. This is other people are seeing and hearing the same things as me. So that kind of, but it's not, when people go deep in, like I don't go in and listen to I think his name's Ram Dom. And anything I've ever heard of his, I'm very interested. But like I go in and listen to someone talking deep like that, then I feel like I've got to stay focused on how I perceive my information. Because when I start listening to them, it's like it steers you. It steers your mind, kind of. I don't know how to explain it, but it gives you, you know, I got to stay focused on mine. And then it's kind of like, because we all have this certain information or something like we're bringing forward, but then everybody's got to have the clear information so that, like, another channeler shouldn't be going and listening to a channeler, because then they're getting their information. If they get their information, then they're passing on someone else's information instead of passing on my own information. And when you bring all the informations together, then, and each person gathers their information, then they get a more completed story than if we are trying, because it's like a slight, it's like a slight tinge in the perspective or something. You know, I don't know. Still, I feel bad because she was just snoozing away. She was snoring. And then as soon as I start doing stuff, honey, let me just finish doing this, okay? I'm only talking 20 minutes. Oh, gosh. Honey, you're fine. It just starts where she just needs me to do this. And she's very uncomfortable. But she keeps going and drinking that goddamn fucking pool water outside where it just rained and rained and rained. Oh my God, hold on. Here, are you going? Oh my gosh, John. I'm serious. I am trying to do something. We have one. See, that's what I was talking about. What she does all the time when she wants it. She goes over and rings the bell. She wants something. And I go over to the door, and then she goes to the kitchen. No, I want food. I want a treat. Because always in the morning, I give her 2 of those things, so I have to open a new one. And she's already taking up time with interrupting me. So I'm not going to open another one yet, but she's going to start bitching. She is going to start bitching again. And I keep on trying to figure out, like, that was a whole other thing I could go into, because I've been thinking a lot about that. With, you know, she doesn't whine when we're walking. She doesn't whine when she's eating a treat. She doesn't whine when she's eating. Just when she's sitting there looking at me, and she just sits there and whines. It's like, what's this all about? Like, are you uncomfortable? But I know she's uncomfortable part of it, because she'll get up and she'll move to different places all the time. But, you know, I'm sure her hips are, I mean, she gets around so much better, and she's so much stronger. But she still has aches and pains. So, but I have her on the chaga, and I have her on the boron. Anybody else has any ideas of some healthy stuff that has been working for them, you can leave it in the comments. For hers is, well, she's got hip dysplasia, so like a deformity, then it rubs, and then she's got arthritis on top of it, and then all these fucking big, she's got so many cysts right now, or whatever these lumpy things are. She's got so many. I know that's the toxins outside. And then when she starts feeling just like whiny and stuff, I'm sure she just doesn't feel good. Sure, she just is full of fucking toxins. So I need to give her some of that diet. To me, she's earth again today. And just see, maybe if I do it every day for a week and see if that gets the cyst to go down. Maybe I'll try that hypothesis. So Anyways, the Hawaii thing just gets worse and worse because it's just becoming more and more clear. They wiped out like a fucking entire town. And then Joe coming in, and we're going to go in there, we're going to build back better. You fucking, we don't have any rights there. It's so fucking, so we'll just kill all the people. Then who's going to complain? And then when you see like that footage of this, you know, them, they literally went in and murdered, just murdered. Because I had heard weeks ago that there were, they had closed it off so nobody could go in, and they were taking out all these bodies and stuff. And I had heard that somebody had seen bodies at the moor or something, and they were bullet holes in them. And so that was the first one. You tuck it in, because I heard that a long while ago. And then you hear about the FEMA get busted. Military has gone, and they're in a battle there. There's a whole bunch of military there, and they are bringing food and stuff to the people. But even our military, see, it shouldn't, I mean, but we have to protect them at this point. You know, we have to. But we are the ones who destroyed them. So it's so sickening. But the FEMA people were this huge bust or something that happened, and that they were doing mass graves. Like, I'm sure in all of it, we'll hear at some point, you know, if that's all true, and if they were really with, like, we'll find out, you know, as things are being exposed. But we're watching it play out, like, right now. It's like, oh my God. And it's so fucked. And the way these idol people, these celebrity people just go up there on there like, we'll just forget about everything. Just put one of their faces up and we'll just zone out. No, give me my checkbook, please. There's a celebrity. They need my money. It's just like, ugh. Like, what in the hell with these people? And the people who are doing it, being this celebrity that's out there doing that kind of shit, it is like, boy, you are up your own ass, aren't you? And so, there's just, oh, she's moved over to here. Still, just lay down and let me finish my thing. Oh, today's going to be a fun day. Fun. I did crochet a bunch yesterday, though. But my fingers, it gets so, like, they just get so sore. So even if you try and I want to do some more painting, but then I get all these paintings all stacked up, and I'm just having a real problem with motivation, like really getting that, you know, that excited part. It's more of like, okay, I gotta do something. I cannot just sit here again today and change channels 5,000 fucking times. I've got to find something to do. And you know, but it's very different than just like, oh my God, I can't wait, I'm gonna go do this right now. Like, it's a totally different feeling. So now it's like I'm in that kind of groove, and then this extreme anxiety waves that hit me through the day. Oh my God, it's so weird. It's like, what in the holy hell? And I have to keep reminding myself, okay, I'm not anxious. I don't feel anxious, but it just hits you so strong in waves. You know, and that is, I bet you, you know, that's why people are so confused over who they are and stuff. Like, it's so hard to, like, that girl, you know, I get your, I mean, she's only been living with the guy a couple weeks and she's already arrested. Like, this is just all like, it's crazy. It's like, girl, what? Is she mind control? Is she being trafficked? Is she planned? Do they just send them out to get these kids and then send young girls out there, or like forced to get these guys and dating things online, and then, you know, get in there, here's your phone and we need videos? Like, probably. No telling what's going to come out with this. Like, when something keeps being so big, and the September stuff gets weirder and weirder. More and more people just giving all these, oh, well, this and this, look at this. and look at these dates and how this adds up, and this is on this, and this is on the dollar, and this is on, it's like so much stuff. Like, if shit does not go down in September, like, fuck, then we'll just be to October, and then it will be all of those ones. Oh, October's the red October, blah, blah. It's like, oh my God. And then in the end, with fucking December too. And then we got the fucking holidays, and we get the fucking storms all goddamn winter. It's just like, who's gonna lose their house this week? It's like that. And why in the fucking hell would I be paying my house payment? I mean, they're just actively taking out people's homes. They're actively destroying people's homes. You be paying. And then, well, FEMA's got $700 for you, which is all a bunch of bullshit. And you know what, too, is that FEMA money, you know, when you think about all the people, who are they giving it to? Who are they giving the $700 to? Like, where's the people? So is it all just like, oh yeah, we gave out how much ever money and just fucking just goes right through the little laundry circuit right back? The same thing when Oprah or any of these people go, oh well, I'm gonna give 500 million towards the cause. If you guys could all just give $1, it'd make such a difference. And then but their 500 million goes through this circuit and it goes right back to them. Like, people have followed the money. Go watch some of those videos. They follow the money, and they just put it through this foundation. So this leads to this foundation, but that foundation is owned by this foundation. But that foundation is owned by this person, and then they put it into this one, and then they move it over here, and then it just goes right back. It's just a game. It is, once you get up to that money, you get into their thing, their games. And that's another level. You know, it's not like they're not playing on the level we're playing. They're playing over us. And that was another thing Alex Jones said about, because this is something I had said, I think just yesterday or the day before, but that the darker energy, that, you know, there's the light and the dark, and that darker energy, that's the ones that want to be over people. There's nobody of the light that wants to be over people. So those people already are like handicapped. They're already just totally out of balance, you know. They're just too focused on the dark. They've lost all compassion. They need to fear death probably, because I don't even know how. When you have done so much bad stuff, how do you go into your life review and feel it? How do you feel that? Like, that would keep you bound back, you know. That's why they are like these bound spirits to this realm, because they are, it's like they bind themselves. You have to go towards the light. You have to, it's weird, like, because it is like you're going up towards the light. It is like moving out of the darkness towards the light. And so when they just stay down in the darkness and keep trying to pull everybody in, keep them down below them, that's another thing too. They stay in the darkness, but they want us way down in the darkness. They want us in the fucking depths, in the fucking sludge. That's where they want to keep us. That is why this flipping is going to be, fuck. It is going to be so, like, going from the sludge into, it is going to be so much like going from the Flintstones to the Jetsons, I think. And let me think, because there was some other things that Alex Jones was saying too about the AI and about this supercomputer. I don't know. It seems that they want their consciousness in some sort of computer. Maybe that's why they're testing it on us, so that they can decide if that's what they want to do. But to me, trapping a consciousness, like actually trap, because how do you get out of it? Like, we're birthed into these bodies. This is organic. And so it releases us. It lets go. It's like a game. We go into this density in put in this suit, this glove, so we can experience the density. And then when we leave it, because it's all assigned, it's a set game. And when we come in and finish our part, then we can leave. We just leave. the suit falls off and we go out. And then, there's always a storyline to the suit. And so that storyline is to impact the others that are still in their suits. So it all goes together. But what in the world, when they trap you in a black box, when I mean, even those gypsy old, those old wives' tale things or whatever. Like, there's those boxes. I mean, some people have been buying them even off the dark web. You can look it up. And there was a movie about them, but they would capture spirits and trap them in a box. And these are just boxes. And then they would bind them with like blood and hair and all this kind of creepy ass shit. And so then they would bind the spirit. And then if you open the box, the spirit comes out. And they're always spirits that are, I don't know, kind of poltergeisty, kind of just constantly causing problems, making things break all the time. They're I don't think they're playful. They seem kind of like angrier kind of spirits. Like, why do you want to fucking trap an angry spirit? Like, what the fuck? Anyways, we got all these people, or they're capturing their consciousness, and then they're holding it in some kind of a thing and putting it in games and stuff. But I think they're trying to see, because then if they could trap their consciousness into a beautiful world, like a metaverse, see, that's what they want to get us all, they want to get us all in this metaverse. It's so weird too. It's because we're in a metaverse, but then they're trying to level us into another one that they control. But people don't get it. They think this is real life. But we're real life. This is real. We're flesh and blood. This is all real. We're spinning out. This is great. No, it's all fucking lies. You're in a goddamn habitat. And, but that is, that's what they want us to be trapped in there with them, because they think that, they'll be the gods there. They can make their lives so great. But anyways, that's what Alex Jones said, is they want to be inside of a computer or something. I don't know. I don't get that at all. Like, how the fuck do you ever get out? And anybody who ever comes in, like, if your consciousness is trapped in the computer, whoever is managing the computer is managing you. Like, they can turn your fucking world into a nightmare. That's what these people do to us. Like, that is what they do for their entertainment. So, I don't know. I can't imagine being so desperate to die, do everything I can to keep my body going, which I swear to God, that fucking vampire guy in that movie looked like that fucking Rockefeller guy that I kept seeing pictures of when he died. And they were saying like he was 98, Grandpa Rockefeller or whatever the fuck his name was. And he looked like a fucking relic. Oh my God. He looked like that. Fucking, I have seen 2 different vampire movies. One of them was a show, I can't think of what it's called, but I saw it on Prime like a year ago. I probably talked about it. And then this one, I'm having a few different ones popping into my head. And the Nosferatu vampire, that's what they all look like. All these ones I'm talking about. Not, no fucking Christopher Lee vampire. No, Nosferatu. And, or Bela Lugosi, nothing like that. No, this is fucking Nosferatu vampires on all these movies. And then when I saw that Rockefeller fella, I was like, oh my God, that is what he looks like. Fucking Nosferatu. And in this movie, the Deketer or something like that, Defeater or something, he, when he's at the end of it and he's sitting at this bar and he's holding this cane and then he turns and looks, I was like, oh my God, he looks like that Rockefeller guy. I don't think that's on accident. I really think that those people, like that fucking Rockefeller one that died, supposedly, he was probably helped with that, but he probably was fucking, that's who they're probably talking about. He's probably fucking ancient. He's probably way back. He's probably been eating lots of people. I don't know. It just is weird how he looks so much like them in all these movies. Always this fucking rich ass guy in the castle who just wants to eat people. He's lots of pretty girls and lures them. The lure, even with his eyes, the lure. They're always luring the people. So many people are lured into, but that's what they came for. They came for that experience. They came for that. And now it's going to go, for a lot of people to the other side. So they get the other side. So they went through one part of the experience. Now they're going to go through another part. It's a big flip around. And it's just going to be such a new view of one's own self. It's going to sting a lot of people. Yesterday I got in a big old fight with my one daughter. I didn't get in a fight. I just kind of went off. I was so irritated. And I went out to walk Stella. I get so confused over time and what I said and who I said it to. And so I don't think I've told this story yet here. But, and I think it was yesterday. I'm positive. And we went out walking. And, she's just got to be so all the time now. We got to go for a walk. We got to go for a walk. Whine and cry. We got to go for a walk. And she wants to go out and look. But she's always looking for somebody to interact with. I see her personality and stuff. And it's just so funny because I don't know if she just wants to show she's the guard or I don't know. It's just, but she scares people. Like, she comes running towards them. I have seen guys try and jump up and scream. Like, I have seen, guys react. Like, big old guys are scared to death when she comes running. And lots of people turn like, fuck, I'm about to get eaten. And so when we were going out yesterday, she was... I have to keep stopping her from going up in everybody's yard. She just wants to go up and snoop around in everybody's business. She wants to go up and run up to everybody. And now this thing where she's decided to take on the cars. And then so we waited for the school bus to go by. And I was like, okay, so we'll go out and we'll do a walk after the school bus. Because for one thing, I did not want to go out and have to go because the neighbor guy, he makes it clear. Like, I don't... He doesn't like dogs. He doesn't like his own dogs. He doesn't like mine. Like, he don't want to be bothered. And so, I was like, I do not want to walk because she's going to want to fucking run up there. And so, waited till the school bus goes by. So we go out there, and then as soon as we're out and go right around the corner, here comes the goddamn trash truck. And I was like, fuck. And I'm trying to go a little bit off, pull a little bit off. And so I guess I don't know, is he about to stop at all these? And it's like she's going to have to rush up there, show him, she's in charge of this neighborhood. And so he keeps coming. He didn't stop. He didn't turn in the circle. He just keeps coming. I don't know what his route is. It's like, what in the world? This is so strange. Don't you have to go to the next can? You just go on by those and circle back. Like, what? This is weird. And so... he goes up, and then as he's going by me, he slows down. Hi. It's like, oh, yay, hi. And I'm wrestling her because she's decided she's going to charge the trash truck. Motherfucker, do you know how bad that's going to hurt you? Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, okay, Stella. I mean, just run out and just jump right in front of the trash truck. That's a good idea. And so he's going by. So I've got him blocking this way, and I'm pulling on her. I don't even know how it was like, when things happen, it's like such an instantaneous thing. This wasn't slow motion or anything. This was like, boom. This was like, reminded me more of that time when I was driving and I was going to hit that truck, and I closed my eyes, and nothing happened. When I opened them, I was on the other side of the truck. And I was like, the magic goes on. That is what this was like. It was just like, boom, instantaneous. And so the truck went by. I'm pulling her. He's all friendly waving. And I guess a car was coming right at the exact same time. Stella apparently knew, because then she jolted, and as the car was going by, she jolts out towards the car, pulls her thing the whole way. And so I have nothing to even, like, I'm trying to yank back. And she goes, the whole thing, seeing the guy in the car, because it wasn't even a very big car. Like, her face was right next to his face. It wasn't like a SUV or something. He was just in a little sedan. And so she goes, he's going like that, and she jolts out across the road, runs up, tries to jump through to him in his fucking car or something, to slam into his car. The whole way he looked as this thing is coming towards him. Stella's aggressive, going to try and get herself ran over, apparently. The whole thing was, oh my God, I was just shook. I was so shook. I grab her, I'm like, you are in trouble. That is some bullshit. You don't jump out in front of cars. You don't jump out and to be like, I rushed her home, and she was just going as fast as she could. I was just like, oh my God, I was so mad. Made her go in, and I told her, you are in so much trouble. I gave her a lecture. You know, I know she knows more, understands more than, but I mean, she's still a dog. She's still, like, I don't know. You know, her memory isn't, I have to tell her every day you can't go in people's yards. Every day she has to be reminded. So I'm sure she's going to be jumping out. Like, she's getting cockier and cockier. She's going to take on the trash truck. She's going to just jump into people's cars as they're going by. I was like, this is mental. So then I was just so irritated, and come in, and my mom had answered a message or something. And she had told me to tell my daughter, no, I think she had said something, and I said something about my daughter being sick. And she said, oh, you got to tell her to get some of the Ivor, and then at the end, Mectin. So I had said to my daughter, I said, oh yeah, and Mom said you should get some of this. And it took her a while. I don't know. I'm so off on time. It freaks me out, because I'll think, oh, well, I have 1 minute and I'll go do something that I think is going to take a long time. And then it's just been 30 seconds. It's like, what in the fuck is going on with time? I really think time is so irrelevant to our lives. Like, it is about what you're doing. It has nothing to do with time. Time's going away for sure. But so she sends me back a message and says, no. And I was like, what? No, why? And she said, because. And at this point, I already could, I could hear, like, I could hear the conversation. I don't know how. It's just like, I know this stuff ahead. I already knew, but I wanted to see what she was saying. I wanted to see, like, okay, where are you going with this, girl? And so she says, because. And I'm like, because? What in the world? The answer is because. That's not an answer. What I'm asking you, why? And then she said, well, I'm not going to take something that Trump said to take. I'm not going to go take something that horses take, or some bullshit thing, That's when I lost my goddamn mind, though, because she gave me the open door. And I was just, I feel like I feel like I bombarded her. And it was hard, too, because it was like, we have certain people that we don't want to hurt their feelings. We don't want to make them ever feel bad. And so we just, like, step around them, And I called her out on it. I was like, I said a lot of things, like, so for your own health, somebody told you was bad. Like, you don't know this person. They told you this guy is bad, and then you believe it. And now when he says take that, you refuse. So you're not going to take care of your own health. Like, there was a bunch of things that I was trying to point out to get her to see, to get her to look at the other side. And it's harsh sometimes when somebody says that stuff to you, calls you out on being a bias, calls you out on your biases. But she asked to see him. That's a part of this evolution. That's a part of the awakening. That's the whole point of Trump. Like, you have to see your biases. You have to wake up to your own, what's leading you. And so I called her out on a bunch of them. And I felt like, oh man, this is harsh. If I read them back, I just felt like it was harsh, but it was honest. I wasn't being mean or calling her stupid ass or, just because. I wasn't saying any of that. I was, trying to point out, that you're hurting yourself and you're not, like, look at this, look at this. And so, and I don't know how far it went. The only thing she had said back was like, Mom, you got to let me figure it out for my own self. I am taking some medicine and I am doing the lemon juice or whatever it was. And so, I said, okay, I'm sorry. I'm just super triggered. And then I had to be honest and authentic. For one thing, my emotions are up. I'm not walking. Stell's trying to get herself ran over. And then, coming in, and this daughter is just like, I'm not going to be proactive in my health like that guy. Like, you're going to believe Fauci over fucking Trump. God damn. Oh my God. You see what I'm saying though? Why this, the flipping what people have to see. And I can't, me pointing those things out is like planting a seed. I can't get her to get over her biases real quick before this shit flips. But I always feel like me saying this stuff is going to make her have more clarity when it flips. Like it's going to make more sense because I have been telling her that she keeps looking at things from the opposite way. And I try and point it out to her, but it's not like I can get her to see it. We were fine. I said, I'm really, I don't want to lose you. And I don't want to think that you're not doing everything you can for your health. And she's like, oh, well, isn't it that whatever's going to happen is going to happen? Kind of trying to throw my shit that I say back up in my face. And it is like, yeah, but is where people don't get. Yes, but sometimes your lessons is that you weren't proactive or you weren't listening or something. Yeah, but you have lessons. You get over there. It's like, oh, so I should have probably not been biased and tried these other medications and I wouldn't have died. Like, that can be your lesson. Yes, that can fucking be your lesson. So, and you can't get someone to see their lessons before they see them. It's their lessons. It's their stuff. And when you know these certain levels of things, it's a whole nother level of experience. That is what my challenges are. And I didn't, but see, I can't sit there and think like I did wrong yesterday because I feel like she needed to hear that. She needed to have these pointed out. And where I've seen these people talking about the Barbie movie and stuff, it's totally so fucking woke and shit. And she thought it was the best thing that ever happened. She's deep in the programming. And so, saying things, not, I'm sure she would feel attacked. I'm sure she felt attacked, no doubt about it. But I wasn't, trying to belittle her. I was trying to get her to see this other part of herself that she's not seeing or something. I don't know. I'd have to read all the stuff back. I could have been an asshole. I don't fucking know. It's a learning thing for all of us, Then I got to go to my life review and see how it was taken. I'm not going to know until I feel it and know how I was perceived. And that gives me more identification over where I want to be, how I want to act. And so to me, it seems like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm being honest. I'm telling her, I'm planting seeds, because we can't just sugarcoat and baby step around people either. We have to be real. We have to be honest. We have to call people out. But that's where we have to become where we're good at it. We got to call people out without attacking them, without judging them, but still call them out for their behaviors. And it's, it can be sloppy, and I know a lot of people are trying to do that kind of stuff. Trying to have better boundaries for themselves. But it's not even just about boundaries. It is Because that isn't so much about, like, I would be more stepping on her boundaries because I am telling her something. But it's like, at this point, you have got to see if you're going to refuse to take some kind of medicine because this guy that you don't know, that other people told you was a jerk, that you think, oh, I'm not taking anything he says. It's like all the people who have had good luck, all the people who got better taking it, you're not going to take that into account? Like, what? Like, that's the same thing like when my granddaughter's trying to tell me McDonald's fries are good, they're real fries, that's real potatoes and stuff. It's like, dude, have you looked it up? Go look it up. Go look up at the other shit about it. Don't just go based on a McDonald's commercial. Go look up and see what the bad stuff is. And there's more gross ass shit. There's McDonald's after McDonald's being busted, I swear to God. And another one, this is disgusting. A family was in the McDonald's. They got their kid chicken McNuggets, chicken McNugget meal or whatever. He bites into one. There's a fucking mouse inside of it. Goddamn dead mouse inside his fucking chicken McNugget. And he ate some of the mouse. So they had to go to the hospital and everything. But McDonald's, nothing. They just all, nobody will even acknowledge it because they don't give a fuck. Because that is what we are having to see. They've been feeding us garbage this whole fucking time. And now we're starting to realize it. Now we're starting to wake up and notice. And we're complaining. It's like, well, you've been eating it a long time. So I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing they're going to do. They're not going to change it. They're not going to all of a sudden change and become, morals and, run a good business. They don't have the money. It wouldn't be worth it. They got to fucking fuck us over to get rich. So, I saw a video yesterday. I was talking about how much human DNA has been found now in hot dogs. And this guy who was doing this video was saying it's not just regular old hot dogs. Make sure you share this with the vegan people because he was going through all of the vegan stuff that have been found with having human DNA and I think rat feces. These Beyond Burgers or whatever the fuck. I sent that to my daughter, the same one, and she sends back a thing and says like gross or something. And I said, well, now you know why I always say I'll just have a mushroom. I don't want any of those fucking burgers anymore. I don't want the hot dogs. And I've had a bunch of them and they're good. And see, that's the thing that is so gross, is when you have had this stuff and it's good. And then you think, oh my God, and what am I eating? And I think it's good. Ugh, it's so gross. But it's something with I don't know, it's probably just the goddamn kidney cells. That's probably fucking what it is. That's the grossest thing ever. I can't even believe that they came up with that, even to come up with kidney as a flavoring that we get addicted. Like, where did they test it on us at the malls and shit? Like, where in the hell did they even come up with that? And let me think, because there was some more stuff that I was gonna say about okay, so the relationship thing. After I had been seeing this stuff, then these videos kept popping up for me of this guy. It seems like he has a podcast or something. And maybe he has a couple of guys, and they invited a bunch of girls to come and have I don't know, because it's just clips. I only see these little clips. But it's all these fancy girls. Like, they all have heels and little, stripper dresses on and stuff, like attention-seeking clothes. And after I was watching that too, I was like, how can girls not realize when they are going and putting on attention-seeking clothes, they're not doing it for themselves? Like, they always think, well, I'm dressing for myself. This is how I want to look. Oh, okay. So you want your feet to be all tilted up and be uncomfortable. You want to be in, all this uncomfortable clothes because that makes you comfortable. It makes you feel good. No, what makes you feel good is you pay attention to every time people are looking over and staring at you and stuff like that. That's what you like, because it makes you feel like you look good. And when you think about all of those like religious ladies, the past who dressed more longer skirts, covering themselves, covering their hair and stuff like that. I can't think of the word. This word keeps like coming, but I can't see it good enough. But it is that way of being, of not trying to be seductive, not trying to get that kind of attention, to just be more, it's shrouded. I don't know what that means. A shroud. Uh, but how I see it is like those women who feel better about themselves. They're not just trying to display everything to get attention. You can see how that is a better way for women to feel about themselves when you look at the thing, because those women don't need to go out and get attention, and they do save those things more for their partner, to look sexy for them, not look sexy for the whole entire world, because why do you need all of the men lusting after you? And so to look more, not plain, but not be like in, Frederick's of Hollywood, to go to the grocery store. And then you have all these other girls are doing that, but they're all like, oh, it's for me, it's for me. But so this whole table, it looks more like girls like that. They're definitely not girls like these other ones. So these girls all have a certain attitude, but the things the guy was saying, he was making such good points. And, the girls kept just sitting there, just like, it was like being in the principal's office, it sounded like. But I think in some of the interview, the girls are really cocky and, saying all sorts of stuff. But then they get kind of put in their place because of seeing the other side. They are only looking at themselves and looking at their side. They're not thinking of the other person and the other side. And it's very humbling all of a sudden when they start realizing. And there's whole things to the whole dynamics between the male and the female, that, it isn't just like we need to acknowledge, we just need to start looking at it differently. We need, like, women need to get more back to that. I don't need to go out and get all the guys' attention to feel good about myself. I don't need every guy to look at me so I can feel good. That is a lot because of, it's kind of like women and young girls have been sexualized for so long. And then why is it shocking that they use sexiness to try and get attention? That they think that, having sex with somebody is going to make that person love them. Why is that totally off? It seems like that's a part of it. And so we have, just these girls that are just desperate to be loved and taken care of, that they've, come from toxic homes. And then you have these men who are beat down, you have to be this way, you have to be that way. They've got all this conflict inside of them. And, a lot of men, they just want, they're so much more simpler than what the girls, like the girls have, like, he has to be this way, he has to be that way, he has to be this way, this, not blah, blah, blah. But then the guy can have no expectation of her. She thinks she could just walk out because she's got the vagina. It's like, and this guy was like, there's all tons and tons of girls. Like, you guys have nothing. If you've got nothing to offer, you got nothing. A guy can choose the best girl. He can, because the guys have all the choice. The girls are the chasers. The girls are the ones that are trying to, it's like a fucking red window district. The girls are just like taking it all off, trying to get attention. The guys are just going down the marketplace. And they are the ones who are deciding. And then the girls are all frustrated. And it's like, but you're giving them all the choice. You're being the chaser because you have no respect for yourself. If you start respecting yourself and you start, not showing them everything, not just putting it all out there, not just, being desperate, learning how to love yourself, learning how to care for yourself, learning, how to have a better self-esteem, better boundaries, all of those things. Then you go and you start living your life, living your best life. Then the dynamic changes. Then the guys are chasing the girls. then they want that girl who's got her shit together, boy, and they're all going after that girl. And more and more girls who got their shit together, they're all going in that direction. And the whole thing is that is like the dating scene. That is the dating scene is like, I've never dated much, and I've been married a lot. Like, you don't have to go out and date to meet somebody. Like, that is what gets me all the time, is how people think they've got to go out and just date all these strangers in order to meet somebody. Yeah, it has worked for some people, but that is that perspective. Like, there's got to be all different things. So it's just one of the perspectives. It's one option, and there's several different options of one option. So we've got to have a whole bunch of different people playing out all these different options. But that is not the go-to of how to meet people. And, but the people have to me, the people have to start figuring out, like, themselves, and start following things that they like to do. And it's changing directions in your energy. But when you start, following the things you like to do, people will go across your path. And when you're in a healthy state of mind, higher vibration people will go in your path. When you're low vibration, you're surrounded by low vibration people. And then you're going to be dating them. And then you think like something's going to go good. No, you're just in lessons. You're just there learning boundaries, learning how to love yourself. And then so many people in those relationships, they go all in and have kids. And it's like, oh, way to lock in the lessons. So then you have all of that you have to learn too. And there's so many complications that go on. Having families as a broken person with another broken person. And most of the people are broken in the world. So, and the odds are. So, but, there's so much hope. There's so much, just, how things change when you realize that you're in a flat plane under a firmament from spinning out in space and flipping upside down all day long. Like, things, you start seeing things different. It's going to be the same thing when people start understanding about life and who they are and how to feel better and the law of attraction. Like, they all think it's all about this, manifesting ceremonial stuff, and that's not how I have ever understood manifesting, and I've been doing it, and that's not the way I understand it is different. It is it's a directing your energy. Like, you have to take action. You have to take action towards what you want, and and knowing what you want and envisioning what you want. But it is the vision. For me, I didn't come up with my own vision. My vision was put into my mind. And then when I questioned my vision, then they started showing me more and more and more and more and more. And they were directing me through it. So the vision, like, doesn't come, like, it's weird because so many people think if they follow their dreams or their desires, but they don't see your dreams and desires. If your dreams and desires is just to go be a famous person, then that's not really a dream or desire. A dream or desire is doing something that you love and then having it work out for you. And so it is, but people are like off, like they don't know how to negotiate. They don't know how to understand that or something. To man, I don't know how to explain that, but it is people just think they have control over things they don't have control over. That's how I see it. And manifesting is like, because small things all the time are easy. Like, oh, well, I really want, a new vacuum. You just think, well, I really want a new vacuum, so I don't know how I'm going to get it, but I know I'm going to get one. The vacuum's going to come my way. I'll get a vacuum. The money, something will happen. And then that is manifesting. Then it just comes. It just comes, and you just, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, there's the vacuum. I knew I was going to get it. I didn't have to worry about it. You know, like I can go to the thrift store. I can put it in my mind what I want. I can put it in my mind what I want. And then it's there. And even if you don't see it that time, like that one time, and I was looking for the overalls, and I had been to a few different thrift stores. This was over, you know, I think weeks or months or something. And I would just go in the thrift store and I would look and for overalls. And sometimes I think I would forget and stuff. But when I found them that one time, it was like when I was like, oh, overalls, I'm gonna go over there and look. And so it was over by the jeans, and this girl all of a sudden picks up a pair to show her friend and starts like really making him stand out. That's what drew me in, was because she picked him up and held him up. I was like, oh, overalls. So I went over there, and she put him back, and I picked him up. They were my exact size and even the length. And I think I let the little tiny hem out a little bit, but still, I mean, for when I go to get jeans, like it's a lot of times, most of the time, when I try on pants, they're really short. And so, and they fit perfect, like everything was so perfect with these overalls. But the way that the girl had lifted him, it was like the universe was yelling out at me, look, keep having them out here for you, and you just keep not looking. So could you get over here? You want the damn overalls? Here they are. It's just, that's what I heard. It was funny. But anyways, the stuff to manifest is envisioning like small things. Your timeline is about your direction. So to me, you have a direction that you're going when you're learning lessons. You're out on the dating pool. You're going out with all these girls you just think suck. And you don't realize is because that's your vibration. You're bringing in all these people that match your vibration. So that's a clear sign. If you think everybody you date sucks, that you need to do some work on yourself. So then, and you know, you don't have to go through all of them. Just when you start going into doing things you like, the person will, you're gravitated towards each other. They will be, you know, sometimes, you know, the person needs to, you know, make up their mind for themselves and follow and, you know, pursue. And then other times, you know, things, you'll just be standing there, and there's a person standing next to you, and you're just talking to them, and everything just flows. Like those, like you don't have to chase. Yeah, people chase love. Love is so, lives in a distortion in this reality. Like that's what the biggest thing, I think. So much stuff about love is going to change. So many people's ideas, what we even thought, what we accepted, what we called love before, like it's not real love. Real love is so much more about acceptance. It's not about trying to change somebody or get somebody to make you comfortable or do the things you want them to do. Love is about accepting this person. And so we've got so much, I think, that's going to be changing about love, and you know, just the fact that love became for sale, where people started, you know, young pretty girls decided to start marrying old men for their money. That's not love. What do you love? Do you love the man, or do you love the money? And people just started becoming so much more opportunistic about love. Love got lost, but love got thrown around like crazy, even to the point of, you know, this creating this government marriage institution, and people going in and out of it nonstop. You know, how many times I've stood up there and, you know, what is that called? Given my dedication to the rest of my life forever to one person. And then, you know, a couple fucking years later, you go in and you try and get released from that statement, but you made the statement, you know. So I don't know. There's just a whole weird thing with all of this. You know, all the things with their words, all the things with their institutions, all the things with their trappings. everything to just keep us always in this dysfunction. But, you know, the dating thing is going to change a lot, I think. I don't think we're going to have, like, there's not going to be Tinder and shit. I don't know how long it's going to last. There'll just be more and more people just be like, oh, this just feels gross. Going out and just having empty sex with somebody that I don't even really know, that I talked to for 10 minutes. There's going to be more and more just gross, you know, stories of people. There's been so many. I saw a story. This one, I couldn't stop listening. Is this lady, she was, I think she said she was 50, but she was one of those older ladies who cut all their hair off, and it's short and white, and wears kind of a lot of makeup. And so she said she was 50, but I don't know. To me, when I look at her, she looked more like 65 or something, because that's what I imagine, you know. But anyways, so she has been dating, and so she was saying she'd been talking to this guy, and then they went on a date, and she said it was okay. I don't remember. It was like kind of strange. Like, went out to eat, then she wanted to go do something else, and he's like, well, I'd rather just go back to your house. That's suspect right there. Then you know, she was sitting outside with him, and then he just kept pushing to go indoors. And so she told him, you know, to go home or whatever. And so then he called and he wanted to go on another date, and it just got weirder. Oh my gosh. I can't even believe there's people out here like this dating. Like, what in the hell? And that is like, man, girl, you pull in somebody like this, your vibration's low. So he comes, he says he wants to go out. So there's something going on in her town, a festival or something. So she says, why don't we go to the festival? And then he's like, no, I'm tired. I just want to kind of hang out. Let's do something later or something like that. So then he shows up at her house. So he shows up at her house. She calls and gets the day off so that she can spend time with this fella. And she never takes time off. So she took the afternoon off. And so he shows up. He comes in and goes in and starts watching TV. He goes into her house, turns on the TV, starts watching TV. I was like, oh my God, dude, you're way too second. Oh, hell no. Oh, man. And it continues. She continues this date. I kept going in, asking him, you know, if he wants to go do this, he wants to go do that. And he just kept saying, no, he just wants to hang out and relax. He's in there. He's watching what he wants. He's put on a Western now. He's sitting in there watching a Western movie in her house. And she doesn't want to sit there and watch any. She doesn't want anything to do with it. So she just keeps spending her time cleaning her house. So she's just going around cleaning. I'm like, this has got to be so motherfucking comfortable to this guy. He's got his wife in there cleaning. He's got his feet up on the table. He took her last beer. He let her know she was out of beer. And then he's in there just kicking back watching TV. And she goes in there a few times, you know, to ask him. And he's always just like, no, I just want to hang out. Just want to hang out here. And then she goes into her bathroom and sees he's got his toothbrush and something else in there. So she goes out there and she goes, did you have your toothbrush and something in my bathroom? She said, I'm saying it like I don't know it's his. And he goes, yeah, I just figured I'd spend the night. And she was like, oh, hell no. You live an hour away. This isn't even a date. I don't even know what you're doing coming here and hanging out. Finally, then she stood up and she said something and told him, you know, hit the pavement, dude. Get the fuck out. And he did, and she's like going off on this whole thing, you know. She's 50, she's got her own home, she's got her own job, she doesn't need this, she doesn't need that. These are these people's boundaries. See, these are their things they're having to learn. These are the things being pushed in this dating pool right now is extreme. So extreme. I've heard so many strange stories, like weird stuff. Like even these Tinder ones. If somebody starts doing weird shit, why in the world wouldn't you just go leave? Why do people just keep going? Like they're too scared to stand up for themselves. Like even on that one, why would that woman, the second he came in and sat his ass down on that couch and turned on the thing and put his feet up, Oh, hell no. Hell no. No way. Fuck. But maybe she just hasn't had enough experience with, guys that want to go out with you or something. They don't want to date you. They just want to fucking move in and have you fucking take care of them. And so, anyways, but she did tell him to go. But that's the dating pool is just bullshit. People just who have no boundaries. You got to put your boundaries up. But when it switches, it's going to be people are going to have respect for themselves. Like people are all this shit going down is teaching people to love and respect themselves. And then so all this is promoting huge growth in the people. And so all these things are changing. And, like girls who use their sexuality for attention and love and stuff like that, they're going to feel more embarrassed about that. Like, I can't believe I lowered my standards that low. I can't believe I had done this. I wish I had respected myself more. And that is going to be so much about what we're going to be going through. People are going to wish that they had respected themselves more, wish that they had been more caring, kind, loving, like all those things that your soul is just going to be like, oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, I can't believe I look like that. Oh, it's going to be so much of that. And all that stuff has to be healed. All that stuff is where people have to see, it's not like you are bad but it's that other side of the coin. It's the other side, and you have to see the other side so you can, like I said, get it upright so that you can keep it in, as long as it's over here, you don't know what's on the underneath. That's why you have to see what's on the underneath. And there's going to be so much about that. That's going to be so hard. I know I say it a lot, but that shadow part, the part that people don't see, because the people who I know, it's like they fight against it. And another thing too, what was this? Because I just saw this person and they were talking about this was somebody sharing this, and they were talking about this other person who had talked about this like from 2014 or something. And I don't know, it's some guru or something, but they were saying that they said that, I didn't listen to the whole thing, but 70% of the people, it seemed like they were going into this like 70% of the people are NPCs or something like that. And so that they won't wake up. But I don't see that. Like where people keep saying people aren't going to wake up, people aren't going to wake up. Yeah, we have some people who are out there losing their minds, who are doing weird as fuck things. Like I saw somebody just laying on the floor in a store, spinning around, screaming and going and scooting and knocking everything over they could. People couldn't get them up. Like it was just weird things. People are they're glitching out. They're losing their minds. They're just, but you have to have a mind to lose. I think that they are fighting against, it's like all this stuff is coming to change. But then if you keep not wanting to focus what you need to change, if you keep trying to distract yourself and not see it, but it just keeps hitting you and hitting you and hitting you and hitting you, no matter what, you keep trying to distract yourself. Yeah, you're going to fucking glitch out because you got to fucking not be distracting yourself. You got to face it. You got to face yourself. And that is what people don't want to do. I don't see it as that they don't want to wake up. It's that there's things that come up in them that they need to face, that they can't do it. It's hard. And so then they just kind of glitch out. It's the vibration. It's their frequency. They're keeping themselves in a low vibration because they're not actively purging and letting go of things. And they fight against it. And then, a lot of people go and do drugs and stuff to try and distract them. A lot of people go drink. A lot of people go to the corn sites. A lot of people, like, whatever they can do to take their minds off of it. But they go deeper into their crutch that it is going to ultimately blow up in their face. Because there's nothing that you can hold on to distract yourself through this. This is like the great purge of energy. It's like this huge purge of dark energy is happening. And there's so much dark energy here that it has to purge out. It has to be released. And so many people, everybody sits back, oh, it's the Illuminati, it's these child stealers, it's this, it's that. It's all the people that made bad decisions, all the people that went with the dark, all the people that were lost and couldn't understand. And, you know, that's what we're purging out. We're purging out ignorance. We're purging out selfishness. We're purging out dependency. You know, this dependency of needing other people to like you, needing other people to confirm to you that you're okay, those kinds of things. We're purging all that kind of stuff out. And it has to come out in all these different ways. So it's like these big things being purged out, but on the micro, macro, each person, because it's all of us are playing roles for the whole thing. And so all of this big giant purge of all of this this energy. But see, that if the people aren't tuned into themselves, if they're really tuned into the 3D, it just like it shorts out their brains. It's like people are just so lost. But even if they're shorting out here, you know, like my son-in-law, even though he is passed, and I think at this point, you know, he's like, if I think about if I tune into somebody, it's like I can feel their feelings or something. And I was just, you know, with suicide and drugs and stuff, kind of have a feel of suicide, because each time a person takes them, they know they take their life into their own hands. They just don't care. When I used to do drugs a long time ago, when I was a kid too, I was like, yeah, you just don't care. Like, I don't care. I was talking to my one daughter, and I said, well, maybe this will make a difference to the other son-in-law. You know, his childhood friend is passed, and he has one of my grandkids, and the other one has 3. And so I said, maybe this will make a difference. But my daughter said, when she was working, if you remember me talking about when she was working with all the homeless people, I think I was talking about this like a year and a half ago. And she said that she was go to work and there would just be all these dead people. They'd have to clear out all the dead people every morning. And she said it was so horrible. It'd be like 25 and stuff. She said it was just horrible. But she said that you can have a person sitting right there dead next to him, and the person will still be sitting there just shooting up. She said it doesn't, they don't think of it like that. They don't sit there and think, oh, that could happen to me. They don't care. It's more important to get that in there, because it's like your brain, they're starving. They've got to have that in there, and then it's willing to risk it all. But there's like the same kind of energy, suicide and drug addiction. And the drug addiction is got more sadness too. With the depression, the suicide is also has got so much sadness. It's feeling so bad about themselves and feeling so isolated. Drug addicts feel so judged, but they're judging themselves so hard too. And then they feel like there's so many different things. You know, people are all just hiding from their pain. They're trying to hide from their pain. But, man, I swear to God, that's a fucking Neo bot or some fucking trying to get my eyeball. God, you can feel it. Just like wiggling around. Ugh. And these fucking things that wiggle around in here. And then I start sneezing. I've been sneezing my head off this morning. So, I don't know, maybe one's trying to get out my eyeball. And I've seen people with this fucking footage, like the weird shit up in the sky, where people have gotten that footage of these weird circle things and shit like that. Well, I guess apparently that's a swarm of mosquitoes that have been released that are diseased. And then we have, okay, let me think of the other one. Let's see, the mosquitoes being released. I can't think of it. I don't remember. Oh yeah, all of the footage that I've seen of these things, you know, I think it's the morgue Ellens. So those are these little wormy things. And now you're seeing all these people have footage of them on their clothes and stuff. And I had seen these a while. I had shown these in videos and stuff a while back, but that they, especially that one, and I'd seen it in a spider web. It was up. So the spider web was up, and it had gone in the spider web, and I was like, how in the world is a worm in a spider web? I've never seen this. So I was just fascinated, and I kept watching it, and I was like, this is the strangest, because it's so thin of a worm. It's like a hair almost, but it is it's like doing things. And so then I've seen other people, and they're like, oh, it's like striking like a snake or something. Like, it's weird. It's doing things. So, and then these other ones, like, I know I can't see good, but I swear there's not a worm crawling down my face right now. These other little microscopic ones, it's like you can feel them, but you can't see anything. And I don't know if anybody else saw that footage. Like, it was Australian news. They were doing brain surgery on some woman, and there was a fucking worm crawling around inside of her head. And they had to take the worm out. And it's like all this big news. It's like, fuck, all these things just get you to really where you just got to do more parasite cleanse, more parasite cleanse. Like, they are literally trying to grow worms inside of us. They want us to abandon our bodies or something. They want us to just go into the metaverse or something. Is that what? Like, I don't, or is it part of the just murdering us all? Like, I don't know. Murder us all with parasites. Fuck, I don't know. A worm crawling around, like a fucking real worm. Not microscopic, but like fucking long. Like, you can look up the footage. It's disgusting. But I think that one where I saw the spider coming out of that girl's ear, I was talking about that with my mom, because I was so freaked. I did have her do what is that bubbly stuff, peroxide in my ear while I was at her house. And I was telling her, you know, why? Because I said, I'm so freaked out. I saw this video of this spider coming out of this woman's ear, and I'm always feeling things in my ear, and I'm freaked out. Something's going to come crawling out. But I think it's the pressure changes in the ear, because they're microwaving us and all this shit all the time. But when I was telling my mom, I was like, oh, yeah, we decided that's got to be fake. Who in the world goes to clean their ear and videotapes it? So, yeah, it had to be fake. They had to have done that. So now I keep trying to, but you still get the visual. You still get the visual of the spider coming out of the ear, and then you feel things in your ears. So it's hard to, it's like programming. It's like it goes into your head, and then you have to unprogram it. It's weird. As I know all of this shit that they do, like in TV and all that stuff, how much they program us, and people don't realize how much they're programmed over little things, just things like off the hair thing, just realizing how much programming goes into us cleaning our hair. And, you know, it's a lot to stop washing your hair and to go through that process of releasing that. It messes with your mind. You know, you start feeling like, ooh, am I just dirty? Am I gross? And this stuff that comes out is called sebum. And I was having a conversation with somebody yesterday, and they said, you know, there's a name for that waxy substance that comes out of there. And then sebum came into my mind, and I said, I think it's called sebum. And she said, that is what it's called. And so, you know, I haven't looked up about it yet, but it was just I think I knew it from hair school. Now I keep thinking, like, I wonder what we were told back when I was in hair school. It's like, I want to go find that book again. Were we told back then we should be washing our hair all the time? Because that was been like 40 years ago. Let's see, because I was 18 when I started hair school, and now I'm 62. So however long ago, that was 44 years ago. Like, were they? I remember when people would come in, we would wash their hair to cut it. And then when the little old ladies would come in and get their hair set. So, but I don't know, like, if it was a thing, like if everybody washed their hair all the time. I don't remember at all. And then plus that was at the 80s. That's when things got real fake and phony. things just started getting so fake. But it was so fake. It was like they were already bringing in the fakeness. I was, I don't know why I was thinking about Wonder Bread yesterday. I was just thinking about some of the gross ass shit that we ate when I was a kid. Because I love bread and butter, warm bread when I make bread, and then bread and butter is so good. And how much I did not like it when I was a kid. And then I was like, oh, that was Wonder Bread and margarine. No wonder I didn't like it. Like, my mom, we ate the fakest fucking food. And it seems so strange because my mom grew up on a farm. But that is that way. It's a progressive teenager, you know? Like, oh my gosh, we're going to all eat astronaut food. This is so exciting. It's like, oh, it's fake food. But I didn't know it was fake until, you know, I got older. But yeah, my mom bought us all this fucking fake food. We'd eat these fucking astronaut sticks. There's just like these sticks. Oh God, food back then. It just is so ridiculous when you think about, you know, they're trying to push this whole thing about traveling to space, and all the kids were eating astronaut food and all this shit. So stupid. It just on the things where people keep pointing out, like, how did the White House talk to the spaceship? Then, oh, this was a funny one too, where someone got a picture because they've got the little rogue or cart thing, the little jalopy that they drive up on the moon. And it's parked next to the ship that supposedly brought it. And it couldn't fit inside of it. There's no way it could fit. And I mean, why weren't people seeing that way back then and going like, well, that makes no sense. We just believe whatever we were told. Always, we just believe what we were told. Well, why would they say it if they weren't doing it? Like, who would even think that someone's coming up with these elaborate lies and schemes to control us? And then to see what the ulterior motives, it just go further and further into artificial, superficial. You're pulling us completely away from who we are at our core, and pulling us way more towards the other, because it's just so weird when you think about, like, we have a natural substance, an absolute natural substance that comes out of our head, leaks out of our head into our hair in order to make our hair, to protect it from the environment. It's a protective coating for our hair. And then we go and strip it out. We go wash it out and try and get it off of our hair all the time. And then even go spend tons and tons of money on other kind of products to put in our hair to try and mimic the stuff that we just stripped out of our hair. When you start really putting it together, and then what I have noticed, because of all the different times, and you know, everybody has different things with the apple cider vinegar and the clay and the baking soda. Like, everybody has different experiences. That's why I say you got to check with your own experience. You've got to, you know, figure it out for yourself. For me, what I had noticed is it would dry out this part of my hair. This part of my hair would become super, super dried out. And then this part, to me, seemed like it became more weird, like a weird kind of like oily, but I don't know how to explain it. And so then it would make it more come out in order to try and coat the hair that was dry. That's what I kept noticing. And what I keep noticing too is it's the brushing. It's the brushing, brush. And you're cleaning your hair when you're doing that. Your hair's not dirty. The stuff that's coming out of our own bodies, like, there's so much stuff that comes out of our own bodies, and they tell us that there's something wrong with it. It's like, how did someone convince us of that? Something coming out of my body naturally, that's something wrong. And so, you know, to me, we got to get this stuff all over our hair. So I brush it. And when you brush it with that kind of bristle brush, it gets out all of the little lint and stuff. There's nothing dirty in your hair. And if you feel like, you know, like when I was out working in those yards, and it was so fucking hot and so fucking dusty. And I mean, I was just covered. My whole face, my feet, everything was just covered with dirt. And then I had to go rinse off. And just rinsing all of that out. And I really, really liked my hair on those days. I was like, man, that is really, I don't know. I didn't use shampoo or anything, but and I don't know if it was the water. It could have been the water in Spokane, because if I go rinse it here, it's like I feel like I've put glycerin on my hair. I've put some sort of, I don't even like to get my hair wet here. There's something weird with our water. And so there's like a texture to it. It's slimy or something. And so to me, it's just, but still have those spray things. But those spray things are really, it's like an elixir of hair growth serum, because you put in like cloves. You can put in apple cider vinegar. You can put in whatever you want. And then spray it on your hair. You can spray a whole bunch and then rinse it out if that makes you feel like you're cleaning your hair. Like, you can come up with your own plans of how you do it. But to me, it is definitely something to start considering, to let your hair coat itself and to start working on your mind of not seeing that as dirty. Like, it's just so weird when you have to have this mental battle with your hair doing what it's naturally supposed to do, and you keep feeling like you're dirty somehow. It's like, it's strange. But to me, I can't even believe, and the more I brush, the more silky, oh my gosh, and the texture. And look, it doesn't look like it's oily and gross. It's like it gets silky. And the only place to me that really seems like that it seems like right here, it gives a lot of that stuff, like a lot of sebum seeks out. What is that? So seeps out. And then, but I kept thinking, well, maybe it's because right around here is where we're getting the radiation. You know, that's why everybody's hairlines are going back further and further. We're getting our faces radiated to death. And so maybe that is why it keeps trying to protect around there. So it puts extra out. That's how I'm kind of looking at it right now. But it coats your hair. So your hair has this great fucking texture. And it's silky. And then if you, like, even in my old videos, like my hair, when it would be washed and dried, it was always like falling in my face. It never had any body. And now it's like got body. I could just braid it and it would come out like wavy. Like, you don't, it's like you can't think like no shampoo, like, oh, you just don't care for your hair anymore. No, it's to me, I have way more upkeep. Like, I do so much brushing all throughout the day. I'll go brush it and brush it and brush it and brush it. And so I don't know, there's way more caring for my hair now, because before I didn't do anything through the day to my hair. And now it's constantly going in and loving my hair and brushing it. And so to me, it's a lot more brushing than what I would have thought. And the more you brush it, the better it is. And the more your hair will feel clean. It doesn't, and the more you get it down all over the whole thing, the more it goes back to being, but also, the brushing, I think of it as just moving the sebum stuff through your hair to really get it coated. So you use the brush to just like paint it on there, just keep pulling it through. And it's really waxy. Like, it doesn't just go through. Like, you really have to, it's like beeswax or something. And you have to really pull it and pull it and pull it. And then once you do that, it kind of all goes in together. Like, it's all just waxed in together. And then you have to go in, like I use a big tooth comb, and then comb it and separate all the hair. And then sometimes I even, just separate it back out. And it goes from being all mushed in like this wax into being back to being hair. But for all of the stages I've gone through, there were some hard ones where it was just like I desperately wanted to just go in and wash my hair and just have it feel clean again. But now that I've gotten through all those ones, no way. I would never. I mean, I definitely, there'll be at some point I'll be like, yeah, 5 years ago, I stopped washing my hair. It's like, I don't care how weird people think it is. Like, I've definitely seen the light on the hair thing. And the only thing I have noticed is that just brush, 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 brush. We don't have to go and get our hair wet. We don't have to go and wash it. We don't have to do any of that stuff. And you don't need conditioners. Like, I used to need so much conditioner. I would use a tiny bit of shampoo, but a shit ton of conditioner, like a fucking handful. Coat the fuck out of my hair. Because it always gets so dry. And now it's like, oh my gosh. It's like silky. It's crazy. It just, the way it feels, everything. So anyways, I'm really going off on the hair thing. But, and the face stuff, getting off of the face creams and stuff and going just with the oils. And castor oil's my favorite. And, you know, that's another thing that can take a while to get used to too, is just to goop that stuff onto your face because it's so much thicker. Like, it's kind of, you know, you just start feeling like you got a waxy coating on or something. And then if it messes with your mind, like, oh man, I'm just stopping up all of my pores with all these oils and stuff. But to me, my face doesn't break out. It's full of oil. Like, I put so much oil all through the day and I don't wash it. I don't go in and scrub it. Like, every once in a while, I'll scrub my face to scrub off the dead skin or whatever, but I don't know how much skin is dying off and drying out and stuff. Like, you scrub it off, like, skin has to be, there's a natural, you know, life period for it, and it sloughs off, so you do have to, like, scrub it off, but I don't wash my hair. I mean, I don't wash my face like every night. I gotta wash my face every night. No, I just throughout the day, put on more and more oil and put a ton on before I go to bed. That's it. And my hair, I don't go in and wash it. I just brush, 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 brush. So, and then the teeth, that's changed. Like, I use this stuff I made with the bentonite clay, charcoal. It's got oil. I think it might have some spearmint in it. And then the oil pulling and the black seed oil. And another thing too, and I told my daughter, because when she said, I'm not taking some worm killer or whatever, I said, every fucking thing I'm constantly telling you to take is all parasite cleaner. I keep telling you and telling you, it's the parasites and chemicals. They're using those to make us sick. And then the frequency. Like, all those things together is what they are doing. You put parasites in us to make us sick. They release these mosquitoes to give us diseases. Like, everything is about making us sick all the goddamn time. And but the biggest thing is the mental sickness. That's what I want to help people with, is the mental sickness, because people have just forgot who they are. They've forgotten to, they've just gone into this victim. Everybody is just an abused victim, and they forget that they have any control, that they can make choices for themselves, that they can do things different, that they're creators, that they have control. And so anyways, that is what, you know, so much has got to happen. So much has got to change because of that. And that's the process we're going through, is this big changing. And it's so much about it is the individual level, but the individual level is what creates the whole thing. Like, all of us changing individually is what changes everything. And it's just slow to go through each person waking up and changing. But to me, I don't know. I don't want to be whiny. It's just as fuck. From 2009, when I started my healing, like all the healing, from 16 is when I started seeing that this was going to happen to everybody. And I started seeing, like, that's when I started seeing I think it was 15 is when I started seeing, when I would go outside and I started seeing, like, 3D. I started seeing everything around me was weird. I was like, the sky's weird. I already was doing the sky stuff. That was already, I don't know. I'd have to go back before I lost my Facebook. And that's when I lost my Facebook. Now I see that totally different. So, it's just all been a thing for so long. Like I was losing accounts. I was being censored before some people were even woke up. And so it's just, man, this is drug out to me. Like some people have just woke up and they're frustrated over 2 years of this shit. Some people are frustrated over 6 months of this shit. It's like I've been fucking dealing with this for years watching this. It's frustrating as can be. Like when I started trying to tell people like about human rights, it was just all of a sudden in the awakening when I started seeing that the sky was weird and the sprayiness and all of those different things. And you start telling people and everybody just thinks you're crazy and, because nobody can understand it. And still, after all this time, like more and more people are beginning to understand it. They're beginning to understand, God's law over man's law and these people who just decided to make laws on us, but we have to, we have to conform. We have to give something to do. They can try and force us into following their laws, but, this is a time where we stop and we start, why are we following your laws? But it's, it's a process. And the more it happens for more people, the more it happens to more people. And so it just spreads and spreads and spreads. It's just, like going through it, it feels like, oh my God, this just drags. It's just so long. This is so hard. This is so horrible. Watching this sad stuff all the time. But I think when we look back, we're going to see it wasn't as long as we thought. And then there's some people saying this is the tribulation. I tried to tell my mom that too. When she's like, I'm going to be raptured before the tribulation. And I'm like, this is the tribulation. We're in the tribulation. And she's like, oh, no, we're not. You have no idea. The tribulation is going to be way worse than this. I'm like, okay, well, I'm pretty sure this is the tribulation. This is when things are going to turn. This is all of the horribleness that leads up to the turning the other direction. Because everything is leading us to us making this turn, taking the turn for ourselves, to not want to be abused, to want better for ourselves, to focus, to understand, to try and understand ourselves more. And so many people are understanding themselves on a deeper level just because their soul is fucking telling them. It's just everything is changing. That's what changes everything. Where everybody thinks, well, we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to run and do this, we got to do that. No, we got to just see our own truth and to follow our own path to ourselves. And that is what changes everything, is just this awakening to come up to understand yourself and stuff. So, we don't all have to go down and vote and we got to get Trump in there. No, we don't. We got to just keep on speaking up, saying the truth. Don't play games. Be real. Be vulnerable. All of the things. The more real you are, the more realness we bring to this plane. And the more it's going to just keep going, and just, when you're trying to tell people, just really, try not to be attacking aggressively. You got to really, there's like a lot of gray in there. And in all that gray, there's you and there's them. And then there's trying to figure out what's in between. And so it's easy to, step on somebody's toes and then, to beat yourself up. Like I could have just sat there yesterday and just been like, oh my God, I can't, crossed my mind. I can't believe I just was so irritated, like it's so triggered when I'm not going to take care of myself. I'm just not going to make it and shit like that. It's like, oh my God. And then, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to take that because this person said. It's like, oh my God. So anyways, there's things out there triggering us. And just, watch what you say, because that's what's going to bother you in the long run. What you do and what you say is going to bother you in the long run way more than what they're doing and saying. You're going to feel bad about making other people feel bad. That's the thing. So you just got to really, watch. A lot of it is just watch, just, observing, watching how things play out. And but there's, that fear will trigger you, when you don't want one of your kids to keel over. That's a trigger. So anyways, this is a journey for us all, and all of the things that we're trying to learn for ourselves and our relationships and just the overall. And so anyways, everything is changing, like this fucking Hawaii shit just gets worse and worse and worse. And there's more shit, like they're doing this shit in Florida. There's more, oh man, there's so many, like there's so many places under attack. And then this constant thing about this 15-minute city, and Biden out there, oh, well, we're going to go in, we're going to build back better. It's like, dude, you have no fucking business doing shit. Yeah, but this is all the things that we got to see, what these people act like, what they just don't give a fuck. They just step all over us. We gotta watch it. We gotta see it all play out. And as it plays out, that is waking some people up to the fact it's even happening. So, this is just, it's horrendous. That's for sure. Because I feel like either they've got all these people under the ground in tunnels or something, which they probably have some of them, but I think they slaughtered a goddamn neighborhood to put up fucking hotels. Not just a little neighborhood. There's a lot of people that lived there. And it was all the original people. It was the islanders. It was their... It's sick, man. It's fucking sick. The genocide here is just... Ugh. I just don't care. And then, I was complaining about it when I was seeing them doing it. Like, I saw them doing it before Hawaii. Because what was going on up in those... I don't know what those islands are called. Like, they're doing it in BC right now, too. But the islands in between, like where Alaska is and where Canada is, there's like all these little islands. Like over here by Washington, we have the San Juan Islands. There's all these little islands. And up there is like all these little islands, but it's like a lot of indigenous people are in those islands. Those are their territories or something. Like they lie to us about everything. Like Hawaii was their territory. And then, so these islands, which it seems like are their territory. So they started last winter, started not giving them supplies. They started starving them out. At the same time, they were hitting Alaska and they were shorting them out on supplies, destroying all their homes right before winter. So we got to be prepared for that. Like they're going to go in right before winter and just fucking demolish a shit ton of homes and leave people stranded. Because they do it every motherfucking year. And so they were doing that up in Alaska. And see, we don't ever hear, like, lots of people were going to Alaska and stuff. Like, but you got all these people going to Hawaii. They're going to Hawaii right now. Like, there's investigations going on. There's fucking military fighting FEMA. There's, like, all sorts of shit going on. And people just sitting out on the beach, oh, bring me another cocktail. I'm on vacation. It's like, they're cut off from real life. You're just cut off. You're just so fucking, like, oh my gosh. I don't know. It just is disturbing. It's disturbing to be that disconnected. You have all this going on and you're just sitting out on the beach. Like, and I don't even know how close the beach is. Like, I don't know, oh yeah. And people in Hawaii who are in the territory, of action, who are saying, that people are being misled and stuff like that. They said, if you can find like the surfers, local people, they're telling you about what's really going on there. So like if you're on Twitter or something, if you follow different surfers, but that's where they come in and they'll put plants. Just like that woman who was telling people about this BRICS nation, was 15 years old and shit. Well, how in the world, when this was just formed? And then I've had people come in, oh no, this is 15 years old. It's like, how was it formed 15 years ago if they just now went on they just came up with this? The Brazil, the Russia, India, China, and Africa all went together on the money. And then more places are going in. They didn't do that 15 years ago. So... there's just so much misinformation out there. There's like plants put out there. And there is more, and that girl could totally be an AI account. There is more coming out about, there's people following accounts that think they're real people and they're AI. They're not even real people. And oh, that's creepy. That's so fucking creepy. So, and you probably have all sorts of guys, because the ones I've seen are very pretty. I'm sure there's all sorts of guys wanting to go out with them, and they're fucking robot. They're not even a robot. They're just AI. They're just a filter. It's all they are. It's just a made up cartoon character. So anyways, I'm just rambling and rambling. So anyways, I don't know what today's going to hold. Just more horribleness leading us up to change. So just, just got to just keep on going and try not to let all of it, this shit get you down, and to just keep in mind what it's all about. It's all about you working on you and becoming your best self. So do whatever, and to me, you have every option. Everything comes to you. Like your triggers will come to you. It's just like my daughter, like Stella running out in front of a car, and then my daughter telling me, she's too good for taking this or too good for taking that or whatever the hell, just the triggers will come. So anyways, just we got to work on our patience. That's what I think. Work on our patience. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.